Hello, and welcome to the Intensive Law and Trial and Law and CSI student webinar. We're excited to share more about these two important programs, as well as answer any questions that you might have about enrollment. Some housekeeping before we get started. We do have chat moderators who are available throughout this presentation to answer any questions that you might have. If you look in your dashboard, you should see a Q&A box. We will have time at the end to answer any Q&A live for everyone. But throughout the presentation, we highly encourage you to ask questions throughout. We have people that work full-time with World Strides, as well as members of our program team and admissions to help answer any questions that you have. I'm excited to share these programs with you, but first share a little about myself. My name is Danielle Thomas, and I'm a senior manager here with Envisioned by World Strides. So let's talk first about the company and get a little more background. World Strides was started in 1967 to provide educational travel opportunities to students that they could gain firsthand experience and career exploration. Since that time, we have inspired over 800,000 students from 150 countries to make informed decisions about their career, as well as learning more about themselves. Under the World Strides umbrella, we have the Oxbridge Academic Programs, the Honors Performance Series, Rice Elite Technology, and Envisioned by World Strides. Envisioned by World Strides has empowered extraordinary and high-performing students to discover their passion, explore careers, and positively impact the world around them. With our programs, you can join other high school students from around the world for this extraordinary opportunity, hearing from subject matter experts, gaining invaluable hands-on exploration, and being empowered to fully realize your potential. So today we'll talk about two of our legal programs, Intensive Law and Trial and the Law and CSI program. If you've seen either of these programs by perusing our website, you may have wondered what is the difference between the two and how do I know which one is the right program for me to enroll in? So our Law and CSI program is an introductory course. It will help you see some more similarities within the fields of law and crime scene investigation. This program is located only on the East Coast for 8 days and will showcase the interplay between law and forensic science. They'll do hands-on simulations and have a couple of partnered workshops at George Mason University. On the other hand, our Intensive Law and Trial program is a much more in-depth focus on the theory of law. This program is located on the West Coast, and in partnership with Stanford Law School, this 10-day program will help you more find your roadmap to being a lawyer and diving deeper into the various fields of law. So we'll spend some time talking about each one of these programs and what makes them different and special. But we did want to start off with a little foundation on what the difference of the two programs are. So we'll be starting first with our National Youth Leadership Forum on Law and CSI. With our Law and CSI program, you'll spend 8 amazing days in Washington, D.C. that will put you on a path either in the career of law or in the career of crime scene investigation. This program will cover the entire judicial system in depth, from the initial investigation of a crime scene to the discovery of documentation, to legal briefs, and finally, all the way to the court proceedings. To show a little bit more about what the Law and CSI program is like, I'd like to show you a video that was taken over several sessions of our program in the past, so you can see what this program looks like, and you can also see the scholars in action. I hope you enjoy.
Psychology.
The
purpose of the Envision Law and CSI program is to get students sort of prepared for what they want to do in life and see if this is really something that they want to do later on. During the week, we go through the U.S. trial process and ethics, and the mock trial is something that the law scholars love.
I'm really excited about the upcoming mock trial where I will be a defender of John Doe, who is a suspect of the murder of Jane Doe.
For the CSI program, the scholars will get hands-on experience with fingerprinting, blood analysis, blood stain pattern analysis, and hair and fiber analysis as well.
I decided to join the Law and CSI program because I was always really interested in forensic psychology.
I think this program is important for any young person considering a career in law enforcement or law because, well, it's inspirational and it gives the kids an opportunity to see what things will be like and hear from people like me who are in the field.
It was kind of cool to be able to have the experience of being outside of my hometown and getting to learn about something I'm interested in pursuing.
I really got excited about visiting sites in DC alone without my parents, growing that independence on my own.
What excited me about this program was most definitely getting to hear from real people who have worked on actual cases.
I might see these people in the future and I might work with them, and that's just really cool.
It's a great way to kind of get yourself started into like becoming a CSI or getting into law.
Of course, it'll be a good thing on a resume, but that's not why I wanted to come here. I wanted to come here for all the different aspects, all the people, everything we get to hear and learn.
It was a very fun experience imagining myself in a courtroom as a lawyer.
If the kids pick up anything from what I have to say, I hope it's that they see everything's possible.
Great. Hopefully you were able to see more about what this program looks like in action, as well as hearing from scholars who have gone through this program and discovered more about themselves, as well as the fields of law and CSI. So let's talk a little bit more about what you'll do with that program. With the Law and CSI program, you can choose your own adventure with us. The scholars will choose prior to arriving to the program if they want to participate in either a legal or a CSI track during the program. Whichever way they choose, that will allow them to really explore the fields and the world of law and crime scene investigation in ways that go far beyond the classroom. At the program, as mentioned, they will cover the entire judicial process. They'll see the discovery of a crime through a simulated crime scene. They will collect and analyze all of the evidence, use that evidence to prepare for the courtroom process, and participate in a criminal trial. We are thrilled to have some of the top law and criminal investigative minds that come to speak to our students. This summer, we have renowned FBI criminal profilers, John Douglas and Candace DeLong, who you saw in the video. Other past guests at the Law and CSI program included former Supreme Court justices, former U.S. attorneys general, preeminent law scholars, and so much more. And these compelling speakers will share their experience, their knowledge, and their stories, which will bring the fields of law and CSI to life for our students. Also at the Law and CSI program, students will spend time at George Mason University to further delve into their chosen career path. If a student is interested in learning more about legal studies, they will hear from George Mason University Law School representatives and get a day in the life glimpse into what a law student goes through. While students that are interested in CSI will be involved in hands-on forensic science and crime scene investigation workshops that are led by George Mason University faculty. Here we wanted to show some of our Law and CSI alumni hard at work. But there's only so much that you can hear from myself or see on a video. We wanted to really bring to life what the law and CSI experience is like. And to do so, we have invited Catherine Saffold here. Catherine is a 2023 alumni of the Law and CSI program and is here to be able to speak more to you about her experience at the program. Catherine, I will turn it over to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Catherine, and as previously stated, I did attend the 2023 NYLF Law and CSI program. I was in the legal track, and I love school, so obviously I really enjoyed this program, and I can really tell you that this is one of the best 8 days I spent. You don't only delve into every facet of law, but life is like inside of the courtroom by doing various mock trials. And you also build really good friendships and relationships, and you hear really awesome keynote speakers. I know I got to hear Candace DeLong, which meant a lot to me. I'm a big fan of hers. And also some prosecutors spoke, and that really helped me narrow in on what kind of law I want to do. And so I can just say that it's a really good experience. So I would definitely encourage you to think of it seriously.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you for coming to spend time with us, as well as just share about your experience here at the program. So before we transition, thank you. Before we transition from the Law and CSI program to talking about our other legal program, I did want to again allow you all to ask questions throughout. We do have those chat moderators who are behind the scenes. They are equipped with so much knowledge about both programs and the company, and they would love to answer any questions that you have. So anytime that you have a question, please put it in the Q&A, and we'll make sure to answer your question as soon as possible. And then we'll also answer some at the end of this webinar out loud. But now we're going to transition to our intensive law and trial program. Our intensive law and trial program is a 10-day program that is situated and in collaboration with Stanford Law School. At this 10-day program, you'll be exposed to the practice of law, legal rhetoric, and ethics from preeminent legal professionals, including Stanford Law School professors. You'll also develop and practice essential legal skills, such as making impactful opening statements and closing arguments, preparing cases, and readying witnesses for cross-examinations. The evidence to judgment simulation. This simulation is endorsed by the American Mock Trial Association and will help our scholars to prepare for a court case just like any attorney does. They'll practice the art of creating effective opening oral arguments, directly examining and cross-examining witnesses, gain an understanding of evidence and its integrity, and learn how to manage a courtroom. There'll also be powerful skills workshops that will help you develop your own personal mission statement to set and attain your future academic and career goals. And just as with the Law and CSI program, we do rely on our speakers to be able to bring to life their experience. At the Intensive Law and Trial program, we'll feature lectures by distinguished Stanford Law School professors, as well as presentations by legal professionals from around the country. This year, two of our keynote speakers are Amanda Mundell and Brian Plicklick, who are Harvard Law School graduates and co-authors of the book Winning Objections, which is a must-read for any mock trial student. These preeminent law scholars and experts will help you better understand what you might actually want to study in school and which law schools or undergrad schools make the most sense for you. Also, at an intensive law and trial program, the students will get off-site from the campus and explore the opportunities and the cultural sites around them. They'll be exploring the vibrant city and culture of San Francisco, what's also been called the City by the Bay. They'll visit attractions like Fisherman's Wharf and Pier 39, as well as being able to view iconic sites like the Golden Gate Bridge, the Bay Bridge, and Alcatraz Island. Now let's talk about things that would occur for either program. Regardless of whichever program you're interested in, you'll be staying on a university campus, either the University of Maryland, College Park, if you're going to the Law and CSI program, or Stanford University in Palo Alto, California, for the Intensive Law and Trial program. You'll be staying in a shared dorm room with another roommate, at least one more. There'll also be controlled building access. So anyone that wants to enter any of the buildings that our students will be in will either need a key or an access card to access that building. Wi-Fi will be provided, as we know that is so important to students this age, and we'll have staff that will be with them at all times. The safety and security of the students is our #1 priority. And being able to maintain that, we have different ratios. For our Law and CSI program, the student to staff ratio is 12:1. And inside the classroom, the student to advisor ratio is 25:1. For our intensive law and trial program, the ratio of student to staff is 10:1. And the ratio of student to staff or student to advisor is 16:1. The reason for that is our intensive law and trial program is just that. It's intensive. And we maintain smaller ratios for smaller class sizes to really get that hands-on learning, as well as being able to partner with some of the law professors at Stanford. Regardless, either program, there'll be staff around the students 24 hours a day, including residing in the same dormitories. We'll also have on-site program offices. You can access those in-person program offices from roughly 8 a.m. to midnight every day. And we will have a 24-hour phone line. So in case you needing to reach any member of our staff or your scholar, you can always use that phone line. And with all this hard learning, we do want to balance that out with some fun. It's important for students this age to have free time to play and get some exercise outdoors, so they remain more focused while they're learning. They'll also use the leadership skills that were learned in the classroom and apply it to the team building activities. In addition to our evening team times, there will also be excursions to both the cultural and social locations in the Washington, D.C. and San Francisco area. Students attending either the Intensive Law and Trial or the Law and CSI program are eligible to receive college credit or credits through George Mason University. College credit is issued by George Mason University on a pass-fail basis at the cost of $110 per credit. Now let's look at the dates for this upcoming summer. For our Law and CSI program, which will be in the Washington, D.C. area and residing at the University of Maryland, College Park, we have sessions from June 16th through the 23rd, June 26th through July 3rd, July 6th through the 13th, and July 16th through the 23rd. The tuition cost is also here on this slide. For our intensive law and trial program, which will be in Palo Alto, California, just outside of San Francisco, on Stanford University's campus, we'll have 3 sessions from June 24th through July 3rd, July 6th through the 15th, and July 17th through the 26th. In addition to scholarships, we also provide students with fundraising strategies. One of our most successful fundraising tool is the Gift of Education by World Strides. Students can send e-cards or snail mail to their family and friends, or share their campaign on social media. Students have raised over $2 million through the gift of education, and 100% of the money goes directly toward the price of their trip. At this time, we'd like to thank you for your attendance at this webinar. We hope you've learned something new about both our law and CSI and intensive law and trial programs. And if there are any questions that you do have that we either could not answer or that you have after this webinar, please feel free to reach out to our Office of Admissions. Their phone number is 1-866-858-5323. At this time, we'll now turn our attention to some of the questions that have been asked throughout this webinar. And I do want to thank you all for asking those questions. I've seen them come in as I was presenting, and I know the moderators are getting to them as quickly as possible. So let's see some of the questions that have been asked. Here's a good question. One is if students are able to have their phones with them. Yes, they're able to have their phones with them. I think if we said no, that would be a huge blow to them. But we also want to practice that respect. So while the teachers are facilitating or they're speaking events, we will ask them to put it on silent or vibrate, as well as stow it in their backpack. But there are plenty of times during breaks or meals or before or after activities that they are able to keep in contact with you back home, as well as take pictures and post about their experience online. Okay, a couple of good questions here. Here's one about for the intensive law and trial program, if there's any prerequisite or assumed understanding of basic law principles required. So for the intensive law and trial program, there is no prerequisite, so there's nothing that they would need to complete in order to come. Our law and CSI program is more of the foundation for law, so that is a great stepping stone to completing that program first and then coming to the intensive law and trial program. We actually have quite a few students that do that. They attend law and CSI one year and then intensive law and trial the next. But we will still provide our students at the intensive law and trial program with the foundation of the legal studies. We do find that it is a lot easier of a learning curve if students have some type of knowledge of law or trial proceedings prior to coming. But in addition to the Stanford law professors that will be teaching them, they will also be with staff members who are actual mock trial students in college. And this is what they live and breathe to give them some great tactics and techniques. So we'll get them up to speed, but it is nice to have a bit of a foundation going into that program. See a couple more questions here. Let's see. Here's a question here about what to bring to the program. So as we said, the students will be staying in dorms. So if you can think back to your college days, they'll be staying in a shared room with someone else. Some of the bathrooms, it really depends on the dormitory. Some will have suite style bathrooms where the bathroom will be in the same suite area as the sleeping rooms, so inside of the sleeping room area. And some will be more communal style where the entire hallway will be sharing the same bathroom that will be located somewhere on that hallway. So after you enroll into the program, we will be able to let you know more information about the dormitory you'll be staying in. And we also will give you a packing list of different items that we suggest that you bring with you to the program. Some of those packing items are things like suggested shower shoes, definitely bringing your own toiletries. We will provide the bed linens and bedding as well, but we do know people do like to bring their own, or they prefer to use their own, so they're more than welcome to do that too. But we will have a packing list that you can cross-reference, and we'll continue giving you more information as it becomes known. Here's a question about the dress code. If there's going to be a dress code for the whole time or just for certain days. So it's a really good question. The dress code will be for every day of the program. However, sometimes the dress code will just be casual. Of course, we have some caveats about the type of casual clothing you can bring in. Make sure it is of appropriate length and doesn't have anything that would offend anyone else on it. But there may be days, depending on the program you attend, where you might need to dress up in a suit. So for example, our intensive law and trial program does their final simulation in a courthouse. So most of the students do elect to wear something a little nicer than they normally would for that time period to really feel like they're the lawyer in front of their jury and a judge. But with that packing list, we'll also have a dress code on that for you, so you can look and know exactly the type of dress code for your program, as well as how many types of a different attire you might need to bring with you. I see a couple of questions here about what parents can do while their student is having their Envision experience with us. Unfortunately, parents are not allowed at either one of those programs. We do want these high school students to start feeling that independence. That's a big part of why they are at a college dormitory instead of at a hotel, is to get that college life experience of being in the dorms with their friends. There are hotels nearby to each one of the programs if you wanted to stay nearby and have your own type of experience. You know, sometimes our families like to stay nearby and do some sightseeing on their own in the vicinity, so you're welcome to do that. And if you had questions on where to stay or things to do, you could let our admissions team know. They can be able to point you in the right direction. Here's an interesting question. If you have received a invitation to attend, let's say, the lawn CSI program, but after attending the webinar or hearing more about another program, you'd rather go to the intensive law and trial program instead. What you will do is just reach out to our Office of Admissions. We'll be able to work with you and get you transferred to the program and dates that you would like to attend. So if you got an invitation to a certain program, but after reading more, learning more, you actually want to go to another program, just reach out to our Office of Admissions and we'll help you out with that. Here's a couple of questions about the dormitory and the rooming arrangements. Questions if the dorms are co-ed or how that looks. It does depend on the dormitory that we will be assigned, as we are still waiting to hear from some of our universities on exactly which dormitory we will be going to. However, regardless, our floors are separated by gender. So the roommate will be of the same gender as that student. And if they'll all be on the same floor, and we'll have staff members of that same gender that will be staying on that same floor as well. Overnight, we will have staff members that will be assigned to monitor and walk the halls at all times in case anyone needs anything, since they shouldn't be out of their rooms overnight. Wherever possible, we do try to have our dorms separated by gender, but we know that's not always able to happen based on what we're given. So at the very least, our floors will always be separated by gender, and we will always have staff members on each of those floors. Okay, I see there are some questions about scholarships and what that looks like. So we do know our programs can be pricey, and it's not always feasible for families to be able to come to our programs. But we don't want that to be a barrier to not attending if this is something that a student has a lot of potential and passion for. So in addition to our gift of education, with the fundraising strategies, we also do give out a number of scholarships and grants. If you would like to hear more about that or read more about the types of scholarships or grants, or be able to do anything in terms of applying for that, you can go directly on our website. So if you go into our website, and I'm going to follow along to make sure that I have the exact right one to give you. Under our website, envisionexperience.com, then if you scroll over to admissions, underneath admissions is scholarships and grants. And under scholarships and grants, you can go ahead and start that application directly. If there is a problem with paying everything at once, we do have different payment plans. Again, you can either start enrolling into the program and you can see the different payment plan options, or you can directly contact our Office of Admissions and we'll be able to assist you there. But regardless, we don't want that number of tuition to completely drive you off from applying to our programs. We are able to fund a number of scholarships every year. We have tons of fundraising strategies that we've heard from others that have been very successful. We have grants as well, and we have different payment plans to make this easier to pay for our tuition. So if there are specific questions about your situation and what you are looking for from a scholarship or from any type of financial aid or payment plans, please reach out to our Office of Admissions. They will work with you one-on-one to find a plan that works best for you. Our scholarships are actually open now. I saw a question about that. So in case you are interested in applying, feel free to go ahead and enroll in that scholarship. There's a question about what to do if you have questions after this webinar, who you can reach out to. So our Office of Admissions phone number is on this slide. It is 1-866-858-5323. You can also go directly on our website, which is envisionexperience.com. We do have a chat function. So some of the same people that are answering our phones are also on our chat, so they can work with you that way. If you would like to email us, you can. I would say that is probably the least responsive method, just because of the number of emails that we get, and we have people monitoring the phones pretty much every minute. So I would highly recommend that you call us or go on our website and do the chat function when you can speak to someone that way too. I see another question about scholarships. So if you do apply for the scholarship, you will find out in much advance before the program. So if you apply for the scholarship, I believe it says at the end of the scholarship application exactly when you will be notified, but it is at least a few months prior to the program. So in case you don't get a scholarship, there's still time for us to work with you to be able to afford to come to the program. See, there are a couple questions here about college credits. So college credits are going to be awarded through George Mason University. You can apply for that after you enroll. Again, it's on a pass-fail basis. So if you were able to attend the program and get through it successfully, you will have passed the course, the program. You can have up to 2 credits. So it's $110 each. You can apply for 1 or you can ask for 2 credits. And it doesn't matter that it's from George Mason University. You can apply those credits to any college that you apply to. So those college credits are good and transferable to any college. We've also seen that sometimes a student will go into college and they just need 1 or 2 extra credits to graduate, and our college credits that we have awarded them have helped them get past the line and graduate early or on time. And we've also seen how it is a positive on their college application when they're applying to schools, that they already have a leg up on the game because they have credits for college. So they are transferable to any college that you do apply to. They're just awarded through George Mason University. Okay, let's see some more questions happening. Okay, I see there are a couple questions about what happens on arrival day when students arrive for the program. So what happens is a student will let us know in advance that how they will be traveling to our program. So whether they will be dropped off by a family member or whether they will be flying into our program. If they're flying into our program, we do offer a private shuttle from the airport site to our housing site where the campus will be located. It is a nominal fee, but if the student does opt for our shuttle, as soon as they get their bags at the airport, they will be met with staff members at the baggage claim. They will wait with them until our private shuttle arrives, shuttle bus. There will be a staff member riding on that bus with them from the airport to the site and a staff member there to receive them at the college campus. We also will do the same thing on departure day. We'll have a staff member riding the bus with them to the airport, making sure that they are able to get their boarding pass, and we will have staff members available or around the airport in case a student's flight is canceled or delayed for any reason. So it's a great peace of mind. They will always be with our staff members, and it's also a good time for them to meet with other students that are also waiting for the shuttle that may have arrived around a certain time as they do. So we do have private shuttle buses. You can let us know in advance and pay for that if you would like to use that for flying into our program. Okay, I see a few questions about work that needs to be done prior to the program or even during the program. So for either program, there is no prerequisite or prep work that needs to be done. There will be things that we will be posting on your personal website that you will get after you enroll in the program. So different articles that you can start looking at or things to start paying attention to in the news that you can discuss while you're at the program. But there is nothing that you need to do prior to the program. Also for our law and CSI program, I know we spoke a lot at length about some of the CSI hands-on work they'll be doing with their simulated crime scene. But even if you choose the law track of law and CSI, you will still be doing hands-on work. So while the students in the CSI track are doing something different, the law students will be dissecting an actual Supreme Court case and getting to argue for or against it as Supreme Court justices. And then they will also, while the students and the law track and the CSI track are doing some of the evidence discovery, the law students will be pouring over all the data and affidavits, getting to interview the witnesses, and then they will take the star role in the mock trial. So we don't always talk a lot about what the law students do because a lot of it is not only the theory, but a lot of just going through legal briefs and affidavits, but you get to do your own mock trial as well for that program. There's a couple of questions here about the invitations and what that looks like, as well as wanting to know how you may have been nominated for this program. So for the invitation letters that you may have received in the mail, that means that someone has nominated you for this opportunity. Likely it's a teacher. It could be a family friend or a pastor or a youth coach, but that means that someone out there knows that you may have an interest in law or uh, criminal investigation. But regardless, they've heard about our programs and they think that you would benefit from coming, that you have the potential to do very well. So after we get the names from those teachers, we will send the information directly to you that you were nominated. Here's your invitation to come to the program. And the invitation is, again, the gift of your nomination. We've definitely had some people keep it and hold on to it after they've attended our programs, but it just lets you know that you are eligible for this opportunity and gives you all the information to go to our website. You can put in your ID information and enroll directly into the program. There's a couple of questions on the packing list. So the packing list is available almost immediately when you enroll into the program. So after you enroll into the program, you will receive your own personal website, and that web page will give you all of the information. It'll let you know exactly what airport to fly into or the driving directions to the campus. It will also let you know what our dress code is going to look like and the things that you might need to pack. So that is something that after you enroll into the programs, it will be live on your personalized webpage. Oh, I see. After talking about nominations, there are quite a few questions here about finding out who nominated you. That is a very common question that we get. If you are interested in knowing who may have nominated you for the program, you can reach out to our Office of Admissions and they'll be able to try and look in our system to see who might have been connected to you. But again, 9 times out of 10, it was probably one of your teachers that may have been in one of your classes that they taught, or just someone that thought that you were a good fit for our programs. But you can reach out directly to our Office of Admissions and let them know that you're looking into that information. Okay, I still see there are some questions about the scholarships and exactly where to go to apply. So if you go to envisionexperience.com/admissions, there is an option to look at our scholarships and grants. So right there will give you all of the information directly about how to apply to the scholarship, what the application looks like, some of the dates and deadlines. And if there are more specific questions that you have about scholarships or need-based financial assistance, the best case is to reach out directly to our Office of Admissions. They can offer more solutions for you. They can work through exactly what type of situation your family is in through payment plans, other deferred payments. So working directly with one of our admissions agents is probably one of the best ways to do that, other than applying for the scholarship online. Okay, I see here there's a question about transportation. So transportation to and from the program is not included. So if you are applying to attend our law and CSI program in Washington, D.C., and you live in another state and you're flying into the program, that cost is not included in the tuition cost. However, once you do arrive at our program, all transportation will be included. So when we are going to some of the cultural site visits or even some of our hands-on site visits away from campus, we'll also be going in a private motor coach just with our staff and students, and all of that transportation is included. Also included are all of the on-site meals. So anytime we're eating in the dining hall, which is at least 2 meals a day, and of course the housing, the dormitory resident that you'll be staying in, as well as all the teachers, all of the site visits, all of the law professors for Stanford, and any other type of speakers that are coming, as well as the curriculum. So the tuition covers a lot, but it does not cover your tuition to and from the program. Thanks again for asking all these questions, those that have stuck with you. Just continuing to look for any other questions that might need to be answered for everyone. This is a good question. So if you were nominated or got an invitation to come to the program this year, and if for some reason you are not able to enroll in the program this year, please reach out to our Office of Admissions because we may be able to transfer your enrollment to another year, a future year. So if you can't come this year for whatever reason, just reach out to our Office of Admissions and they can work with you to see what we can do about getting you to our summer 2025 program. Still a few questions here about scholarships. So I see here some about if you can still apply for a scholarship before you enroll in the program. Yes, you can. So if you wanted to go ahead and apply for that scholarship while you are still thinking about coming to the program, you can do so and then do your enrollment afterward. So if that's something that you want to go ahead and get your name on that list or submit that beforehand, you can. Okay, I see some questions here about the enrollments and when it's the due date to enroll into the program. So our due date is on a rolling basis for both of our programs. However, we highly, highly recommend if you are interested in this program to apply and enroll as soon as possible. That's because it is rolling, we have people applying to the program at all times. So you may only be available to attend the intensive law and trial program during a certain set of dates, but if you wait to enroll, other people may be filling those seats. Especially as we think really for both programs, we do try to keep our class sizes smaller. So we try not to have large enrollment classes for each session so we can give more of that hands-on instruction. So we highly recommend if you're interested in coming to the program to enroll as soon as possible, just so your seat is saved. Okay, see a couple more questions still. Okay, again, question about the tuition price and what is not included in the tuition. So really the only thing not included in the tuition is your transportation to and from the program. So if you are close to the program site and you are going to be driven to the program and dropped off, then that's nearly nothing that you need to pay for. However, if you are going to be taking a flight to the program, then you do need to be able to pay for that. Everything else, including the meals on campus, are paid for. Looking at your specific program, there may be one or two meals that are going to be off-site. So for example, when the students are going to Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco, that will likely be a dinner or lunch that the students will be paying for on their own because they'll be traveling in small groups with our staff and able to choose from a restaurant they want to eat at. So for those occasions, you will need to purchase your own meal, as well as any type of money you want for souvenirs while you are at the program. But other than that, and not the transportation to and from the program, everything else is included in the tuition price. Yes, so speaking about the different meals that you might be doing offsite or souvenirs, the good amount of money to bring for the program is really anywhere from $15 to $20 a day. It really does depend on your individual program because some programs may have 3 to 4 offsite meals. Some may only have one or two. And then again, any souvenirs that they might purchase, they'll be going to the campus bookstore for each one of these programs, as well as going to some of the different sites that are in the cities. So if they want to purchase something that way, but for the most part, it really is only 2 to 3 meals that would be offsite that they would be responsible for. I still see some questions here about when the deadline is to pay for everything. So that is dependent on each individual family. When you enroll into the program, there is an option if you would like to pay for everything at once. So if you want to just do a full payment, you can do so at the time of enrollment. Otherwise, you can be on a payment plan where you will just pay based on different due dates that are set for you. So the last time that you would be paying for your enrollment, depending on how much you want to pay for each payment deadline, would be pretty close to when the program is starting. So you have a little bit of a runway to be able to pay for the program. That also will allow you to see whether or not you may have been chosen for one of our scholarships. So how much you're going to be paying and the payment deadlines is really dependent on what you decide to do. We do have flexible options with that. All right, the questions are starting to come a little bit slower now, so I'll just open up the floor for one more minute if there are any last minute questions that you have. Again, we don't want you to leave with having a question not answered while we are here to be able to answer them for you. But of course, you always have the Office of Admissions to reach out to in case you have any particular questions. There has been a question here several times about the recording. So this is being recorded, this webinar. And if you'll be able to look back on this or hear of any of the questions that were being answered. So we will be sending out a recording, the link to this recording approximately 1 week from today. So you should be in your inbox being able to see this recording link and go back on and listen if there are any questions that you do have. I see a question here again about scholarships and how many are given out through each year. It really does depend on the year, how many scholarships are given out, but we will work with families, even if you don't receive a scholarship, to make things flexible for your student to attend the program. Basically, if you want to take anything away from this, even though it may seem like there's a high tuition price to come to our programs, we will work with you one-on-one with our Office of Admissions to make this affordable or to try to figure out a way to allow your student to come to this program. Our biggest thing is having students realize the power of their potential and really be able to see through the career choices that they would like. So we'll work with you to make it happen. All right, well, I think we have answered all of the questions in the chat. So I'll go ahead and close this webinar. Myself and a couple of the chat moderators will still stay back for a minute or two in case there are any lingering questions. But I did just want to thank everyone for coming to this webinar. Thank you for asking the insightful questions. Thank you to Kate for coming and speaking about her experience at the Law and CSI program. We hope you learned something new and hopefully had some of your questions answered. But if there's anything else that you need from us or any questions you have, please reach out to our Office of Admissions. Number is 1-866-858-5323. So thank you again. You'll be getting that recording in approximately 1 week. And we hope to see you and your scholar at a future intensive law and trial or law and CSI program very soon. Thank you.